Guys, we're back for another one. Today we're going to be looking at 3.1, comparing and contrasting different display components and attributes. So I know we're super excited to get through this whole objective. We're going to look at all these different types, and we're going to look at these different technologies over here that are related to display as well. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to get through all of this for your exam. I'm going to tell you what kind of questions they might ask you on your exam, and I'm going to give you practice questions so you can make sure you're ready for your exam as well. So without wasting any more of your time, I'll throw my glasses on and we'll get straight to it. The first type of display we're going to look at today is LCD, liquid crystal display, and there's three different subcategories of an LCD display that you need to know about. Look, long story short, what you need to know about LCD is that LCD displays essentially rely on a backlight, right? So we've got the backlight here that is lighting up and eventually resulting in, let's call this guy Bob, seeing the final display. All right, it's because it has the backlight of lights lighting up the display from behind that Bob can view that display. That's really the key thing you need to know about LCD, liquid crystal displays, right? So they're made up of millions of tiny pixels, each containing a liquid crystal solution sandwiched between two transparent electrodes. Look, it's a lot of big language. For you, practically speaking, just need to know there's a backlight that lights up the display from behind, which allows you to then see it. The reason that's what you need to know is we're going to see shortly that when we contrast that technology to the other two you need to know about, it's going to be the main difference when it comes to identifying that compared to the other ones. Just for your exam, right? That's largely what you're going to need to know. So it's got a backlight and it lights it up from behind, okay? Now, there are three different types of LCD displays that you need to know about for your exam. You've got in-plane switching, you've got twisted nematic, and you've got vertical alignment. Each one of these displays has pros and cons. Some of them are more expensive, some of them are cheaper. All right, so we're going to take a look at those, and that's going to factor in pretty significantly to your decision making. So let's come over and have a look at in-plane switching. Guys, essentially, in-plane switching is known for the best color representation. It is a type of display that has really, really good color representation, and as well as having good color representation, it also has really good viewing angles, a wide range of viewing angles. So for this reason, generally speaking, these displays are really good for people that are video editors or graphic designers that require very, very pinpoint accuracy when it comes to the the colors that are being displayed on their screens. In relation to your exam, what that means is you'll have to be able to look at a scenario and say, okay, this person is a graphic designer or a video editor, so they're probably going to want an in-plane switching display. Also, we need to take into account the fact that it is pretty expensive. It is one of the more expensive options of these displays because it does have that capability, okay? So take that into account. Long story short, in-plane switching, or IPS, is for people who are prioritizing their color accuracy and wide viewing angles, and they think the investment is worth it, all right? That's who it is for. So with that being said, we'll move on to the next one, which is twisted nematic, or TN. This display has the fastest response time. So who needs fast response times? Gamers like this guy. AI made this image for me. He's not even facing the screen, but that's okay because we get the gist, right? Fastest response time. So if you're looking for a really fast response time, if you're a gamer, you might want to get twisted nematic. However, the drawback is it has poor viewing angles, all right? So if you've got someone watching off to the left, then they're going to have limited viewing angles, which essentially means the colors or brightness can shift dramatically when viewed from the side of the screen. So take that into account, right? Twisted nematic is for gamers, has really, really good fast response times. That's what it's known for. Okay, and the next one and last one of the LCD displays that we need to know about is vertical alignment, or VA. Now, this is considered a balanced option. It's a little bit in the middle of the two, all right? It's a middle ground between twisted nematic and in-plane switching. They have good color representation and better contrast ratios, producing deeper blacks and more vivid images compared to twisted nematic, but they're not as fast as twisted nematic. So it's a good in-the-middle option, right? So if you're going to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of like basic video editing, but you're not necessarily a professional. You want to do a little bit of gaming, but you don't care if you lose to the 12-year-old who still lives at his mother's house while you try to survive while working a 9 to 5, and you're trying to budget at the same time. maybe you'd go for a vertical alignment display. All right, so you're going to need to be able to contrast and compare those three types of displays amongst each other, but also amongst the next type of display that we're going to look at, which is organic light emitting diode, or OLED, or OLED, or whatever other form of pronouncing that you can think of. Long story short, guys, OLED is thin, it's flexible, and it's portable. It consists of pixels that produce their own light. So remember how we talked about with LCD, there's a backlight that is lighting these pixels up from behind. That's not the case with OLED. With OLED, what you have is these pixels actually produce their own light. And what that means is you can actually get more vibrant colors and really good contrast ratios, but really zero in on the idea of a true black, right? Because if a pixel is producing its own light, that means that pixel can actually 100% turn only that one pixel off, which means you're going to get a true black, which means it's actually black. Because with an LCD, it's still being backlit from behind a little bit. It's hard to get a true black. It's going to be lit up a little bit. So that's some key things that differentiate OLED. It's commonly used in wearable devices because it is very flexible, right? It's commonly found in things that we're carrying around with us that are portable, particularly if it's an odd shape, if it needs to bend, right? So smartwatches, probably going to be OLED. It's also found in high-end smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, as I said, and some premium TVs as well. It's generally more expensive than the other three options we looked at, all right? So it is more expensive than traditional LCD displays. Keep that into account, right? So now we've added one into the mix. If you're wearing a smartwatch, probably OLED. OLED is more expensive. If someone is looking for a display where they can experience really great color representation and have true blacks, probably OLED's going to be the way to go. One more we need to know about and look at, which is mini light emitting diode, or mini LED. Essentially, guys, it's LEDs, but like a lot more of them, and they're a lot smaller. Okay, so instead of your usual size LED lighting you up from behind, you're going to have lots and lots more, much smaller LEDs. Why is this good? Why is that a good thing? Well, it gives you improved contrast and brightness, so they offer better contrast ratios and brightness levels. Why? Because there's more of them. So there's a greater control as to which ones are turning on, which ones are turning off, and what each of them are doing, right? You have wider color variations, so you can produce a wider range of colors with these, of course, because there's more of them, so you can more specifically control which ones are what color. Energy efficiency. They're generally more energy efficient than traditional LCDs, as these smaller LEDs consume less power. These LED lights that are in the backlight are consuming less power on average. So when would we actually see this be used? They are generally applied in high-end TVs. It's going to be pretty expensive, computer monitors, and some premium laptops and tablets. Note the word premium, right? We're thinking pretty pricey here. We're thinking people who have a lot of cash to spend and want the best of the best. All right, so some use case examples: high-end TVs, high-end computer monitors, and laptops and tablets as well. All right, it's a focus on high-end. Okay, so the key distinction there for that one on your exam would be it's going to be a lot of small LEDs. It's not going to be pixels that produce their own light. There is still a backlight, but there is going to be much better range and variety of colors available to you than you would get in a standard LED backlit LCD display, because in a standard display, the LED lights backlighting the display are about that big, but now they're this big, so there's more of them. You can have more control over what they do, right? That's pretty much going to be what you need to differentiate. So all of what we just talked about, you'll need to be able to look at a given scenario and say, oh, this is the display they're using, or look at some requirements and say, oh, this is what I recommend to you. All right, and here's a nice nifty little table you can have a look at that I've laid out for you. It lays out everything we've just been talking about essentially, right? So pause, read that, have a think about it, and we'll move on to the next one. Now we're gonna have a look at a touchscreen, guys. I'm not gonna stick around too long on the idea of a touchscreen, simply because I think most of us know what a touchscreen is. You touch it and your finger does something on the screen. There's some kind of effect on the screen from touching it. What we are going to spend time on, really, is how that happens. And how touchscreens work is they don't work by magic. They don't work on their own. Touchscreens are only able to function because they utilize something called a digitizer. Now, a digitizer is the actual technology that is translating that physical touch into action on the screen. So it's a specialized component, often part of a touchscreen. It's pretty much always part of a touchscreen that converts analog signals, such as your finger or stylus movements, into digital data that the device can process. So a digitizer is the component that is making your touch have an impact on the screen. It's converting that signal into something that actually happens. We don't need to know the specifics. We don't need to know exactly what goes on to make that happen. We just need to know that a digitizer is what allows a touchscreen to in fact be a touchscreen and converts your finger touching or stylus pen touching to work. Okay, next one is just understand the fact that they do work together, right? You've got a touchscreen. The touchscreen is detecting the input's location, but the digitizer is what processes it and sends it to the device's operating system to actually make something of it. So these two work in tandem with one another. That's really important to understand, for your exam, 100%. Now, you need to know what an inverter is as well. Basically, an inverter is, let's say, you have your wall outlet over here, and you've got your computer, just for the sake of example, over here. Your wall outlet is putting out direct current. This is not a form of electrical current that your computer can safely use. So an inverter essentially takes that direct current and it turns it into alternating current, which is safe for your computer to use, as a source of power. Long story short, that's what you need to know. It takes the power from the wall, which is direct current, and translates it into alternating current, making it a usable form of electricity that is safe and won't explode. Long story short, okay? So, as I said, it takes direct, I need my highlighter activated. It takes direct current and it turns it into alternating current, all right? You don't need to know the specifics of that. You just need to know that direct current isn't safe, alternating current is safe, and an inverter turns direct current into alternating current, okay? So that you can use it on your device. Now, we need to think about some attributes of displays. What do these different terms for attributes mean? The first one is pixel density, and it's pretty well represented by this image. Pretend all of these people are a pixel, right? They're pretty tightly packed, okay? The definition of pixel density is that it's just the number of pixels per inch on a display. Generally, the higher a pixel density, the better the result in relation to how sharp and clear the images are, because more pixels are used to display the same amount of information. All right, so the higher the pixel density, you're generally going to have a sharper and more clear image. That's pretty much what you need to know about that. I don't need to stick around and talk about it too much because that's all you need to know. Refresh rates. The refresh rate is the number of times a display refreshes the image per second. It's generally measured in hertz, or it is measured in hertz, which is a capital H and a lowercase z. So for example, down here, this guy is not very refreshed. Get it? Because it's refreshed, because water, because you're refreshing, because anyway, it's funny, guys. Trust me, you just don't get it. All right, so this guy's not feeling very refreshed because he's only at 120 hertz refresh rate. But this guy is beaming because his refresh rate is 240 hertz, which is much higher. All right, so a higher refresh rate results in smoother motion and less motion blur. Okay, that's just for the sake of example here, guys, just so you could, just a funny way to get the concept across. But the higher the refresh rate, the smoother the motion is going to be on that display. All right, so take that into account when you're taking this and studying this for your exam. The next one is screen resolution. Now, the screen resolution refers to the number of pixels on the display, typically represented as width times height. For example, 1920 by 1080. I'm sure you've all seen that before. Don't get that confused with pixel density. This is the number of pixels on the display, not how tightly packed they are, all right? That's the primary difference. A higher resolution results in more detailed and clearer images. Common resolutions include Full HD, which is 1920 by 1080, 4K, which, you don't need to know the specifics. Just know the higher the resolution, the clearer the image is going to be, is what I was trying to say, but my brain stopped working. And the final one is color gamut. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I say that gamut. I'm sure it's not gamut. I'm going to go with gamut. But essentially, guys, color gamut is the range of colors that a display can reproduce. So the range of colors that it can actually show. So a wider color gamut means the display can reproduce more colors. You're going to have a wider variety of colors. Long story short, that's what that means. So you may need to identify what kind of attributes might be needed for someone when they give you a set of requirements. They might be seeking a display, and they might ask you on your exam, hey, this person is looking for a good color, variation, and really clear images. What are the main attributes they might want to look for? Just as an example I can think of off the top of my head. Now, we're going to get started with some practice questions, guys. I'm going to read the question. I'm going to wait a few seconds, then I'm going to go straight to the answer. After I finish reading the question, just pause the video if you need more time. All right, as usual, pause the video if you need more time. Let's get to it. The first question reads, Miranda is setting up a state-of-the-art digital newsroom where several team members, graphic designers, video editors, and content creators need to evaluate content together. The monitors must display accurate, consistent colors from multiple viewing angles, ensuring that what one person sees is true for everyone else. Traditionally, displays should maintain stable brightness and color integrity during prolonged usage. Based on these requirements, which display technology would be the most appropriate choice for her newsroom? A. IPS, B. TN, C. VA, or D. OLED? Pause the video if you need more time. Answer in 3, 2, 1. The answer is IPS, guys. In-plane switching is known for its superior color accuracy. The key giveaway there was lots of video editors going on, okay? That should already start to point us towards IPS, and they want that good color accuracy with good viewing angles as well. All right, so that was the giveaways for that one. Have a pause and a read if you didn't get it right and you need a reminder of what the other ones mean. I always try to make my explanations pretty detailed over here. I'm going to move on, though, to the next question, which reads, Riley just upgraded to a high-end convertible tablet designed specifically for digital artists. While the device's display shows vibrant images with stunning clarity, Riley notices that the screen also responds accurately to both touch and stylus input. The key to this responsiveness is a specialized layer integrated into the screen that converts the pressure, position, and movement of a pen or finger into digital data, enabling precise drawing and note-taking. A. Inverter, B. LCD panel, C. Digitizer, or D. Ambient light sensor. So you've got to infer what the question is here, guys. It's basically asking you what component here is being described, okay? Sometimes the question is not clear. You might have to infer what they're actually asking you. So, answer coming in 3. Pause the video if you need more time. 2, 1, let's go. It is a digitizer, guys. The digitizer is responsible for converting that physical touch into an input that your computer can actually do something with. The digitizer is what we were looking for there. Pause the video if you want to read those. Moving on to the next question, which is right about here. It reads, Jasmine, a professional digital artist, is carefully selecting a new monitor for her studio. When evaluating her options, she discovers that one of the displays boasts the ability to produce a significantly broader range of colors and shades. This means that intricate details in her artwork, from the subtlest pastels to the most vivid hues, are rendered with exceptional accuracy. Which display attribute is being highlighted here? A. Pixel density, B. Refresh rates, C. Screen resolution, or D. Color gamut? Pause the video if you need more time. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1. It is D, color gamut, guys. It was talking about the range of colors that can be reproduced by that screen, and that is pretty much what we were looking for there. All right, pause the video and read the other options if you need a little reminder. But that's the kind of stuff you might need to do on your exam, guys. Look at a description and say, oh, this is what they're talking about, or look at a set of requirements and say, this is what I recommend to you. All right, now, guys, if you've enjoyed this stuff, you can actually grab like 100%, no strings attached, free practice exam from the link in my description or in the pinned comment down below. What you will get is 3 performance-based questions, 90 multiple choice questions, and if you want even more, if you want like something that will basically be me holding your hand throughout the entire exam, you can go to the link in my description and at the pinned comment as well for my learning guide, where you'll get my full learning guide. You'll get 3 full-length practice exams, each of which with 90 multiple choice questions and 2 to 3 performance-based questions. You'll get a set of interactive troubleshooting performance-based question simulations where you actually get hands-on experience doing a performance-based question for each of the troubleshooting exam objectives, which is the hardest one, the one that most people have the most trouble with. And you also get a spreadsheet to track your progress where I give you pretty much 100% guidance on the process you want to try to follow when studying for this exam. What you should do, when you should do it, and what order you should do it in. It helped this guy pass, helped me pass my test today, and it's going to help you pass as well if you take it. You don't need it. Like, you could get through with my free content, but the stuff in this free one, I do leave a lot of questions out, and I don't put any active recall questions in here. I don't give you 100% of the notes. So if you like what you're seeing here and you want more of it, you can head there to grab it. This is roughly what it looks like. It's all broken down by exam objective and further broken down into dot points, and you get the multiple choice questions, you get multiple choice answers, you get 11 performance-based questions, you get the troubleshooting performance-based questions, and you get notes on absolutely everything, guys. So it's all there for you. And you also get a video where I tell you how to 10 times your learning with 2 free AI tools. I'm waiting for you in there. And I also give you another video where as part of the introduction video, I actually tell you how to use multiple choice questions to study. So I pack a heap of stuff in there, guys. It's honestly, like, in my opinion, I remember what it was like to have no experience trying to study this stuff. I bought so much stuff, and half the time I was wasting my money because it was either outdated information, it was not organized, or it was just wrong, or there was something wrong with it, right? And it cost me more than this is going to cost you. So this is great value for money. I've packed everything I could possibly pack into this. So again, journeytocyber.com, or you can hit the link in my description or the pinned comment below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.